Hey gamers, this is an explanation of a brand new tech called zip storage. This tech is really technical, but I'm going to try to keep it simple for this video so you can understand what's going on. In the bottom left, you'll see the speed that I currently have stored. It's going to say 0 because I'm assuming that I haven't touched a billboard yet. To explain further, whenever you leave a billboard, the game will store your speed. So right now, I have a speed stored of about 13. Now, whenever you hit a billboard, the game will take that speed and will improperly read it for a brief period before correcting itself to the normal speed. So, for example, if I hit this billboard again, the game will, for a very brief moment, read my speed as 13 before correcting it back to 13. Now, let's say, for example, I just hit a zip off of this billboard. I got a speed of about 100. Now, if I come to this billboard and run on it again, the game will briefly set my speed to about 100 before correcting it back to 13, as is normal for wall runs. However, let's say I got a zip, and then did the same thing that zips do, which is wall run for 1 frame. I now get the zip. Zip storage makes zips off of different billboards a lot more viable. Previously, this red billboard, for example, would have never been able to be zipped off of. Right now I have a stored speed of 100, and if I just do the lineup, I get a zip. We wouldn't have ever been able to do that before because simply the corner is too high. We'd have to do some weird, complex wall jump setup. It would just be a pain. But now we can do it pretty freely. This is especially applicable in areas like the dream areas. Some dream segments used to have setups that we called nightmares. For example, here in Dream 1, you used to have a setup off of that red billboard there, where you'd get stuck on the corner, it'd be long and tedious. However, now we have zip storage. I have stored my speed off of a zip. So now, I have a zip storage stored of about 125. And you can see that I've gone flying by just using zip storage, all the way to the top of the end of the dream. It's pretty obvious immediately how this is useful. It takes really hard setups before, and makes them a lot more feasible. Nightmare 1 is not only easier, but it's also a lot faster, because now all you need to do is set up storage off of this billboard, and then you go flying during the dream. And you can do that all without time loss in the crew battle. Another example would be here in Versum. Let's say I just did the wall run challenge with that Frank there, and now I can climb up this billboard, zip to the manual challenge, and once I start the manual challenge, I no longer have to go to the side there and set up a complicated zip setup. I can instead just hop off and go for a zip storage. And that would complete the challenge. It is important to note that when you get a zip storage, hitting another zip storage won't remove your zip storage. So say that I set up a zip storage off of that billboard with 90. Now, if I hit this zip storage, I'll still have zip storage for the next time I want to zip. So, boom, just like that. Due to this, sometimes you want to back-to-back hit zip storages, which can be tricky, but is certainly worth it just because of how much easier zip storages are and how much more accessible they are. In general, this technique is very powerful, but it does have its limits. For example, zip storage doesn't carry through loading screens. If I were to come to this loading screen, right now I have a zip storage of about 100. If I go into Millennium Square, the loading zone takes away storage, so it doesn't work between areas. Another unfortunate reality of zip storage is that a lot of them are one-time uses. So if you miss a zip storage, all of a sudden your zip storage is now replaced with something that won't be useful, and that can cause issues. Let's say, for example, you just started the manual challenge and you use that zip to set up a zip storage. You now jump off and then hit the zip storage incorrectly. Now that's it. You wouldn't go back for it. Your zip storage is now 13 instead of about 90. And now that it's about 13, you can't do any other storage zips until you set up a more powerful storage. So you'd have to hit another zip before you can really take advantage of a zip storage. So while it's true that nightmares are a lot easier because of storage, it doesn't necessarily mean they're free. Let's say that I just loaded into Dream 1. I have storage at about 125, but if I say miss the zip, that's it. There's no getting back that 125. Now I'd either have to go for a backup in the old Nightmare setup, or just reset, because there's no real way to back up the zip storage strat. A lot of strats are now gonna become one and done, so you get one shot, or that's it. You're gonna have to find a backup. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just something to keep in mind. Now taking extra time to make sure you get lineups good is almost certainly going to be worth it. Another thing I want to mention is that storage is actually recursive. It never resets to 0 technically, because there's no way to leave a billboard without somehow getting storage. Storage happens anytime you leave a billboard. It doesn't just have to be a zip. So if you just wall run on a billboard, for example, your storage is now about 13. Zips give you a lot of speed from storage because of how zips work. They give you a lot of speed, and you're also leaving a billboard when you do a zip, so therefore, storage. It's not possible to completely get rid of storage unless you somehow play the game without billboards, and also through loading screens, as mentioned previously. Because of their recursive nature, billboards are now something that occasionally you'll want to just flat out avoid. Whenever you get storage, try not to touch another billboard, or else it's going to mess up your storage. With that, I hope that all of this made sense. If you still have questions, feel free to comment and ask, or you can head over to the Speedrun Discord, which will be linked in the description. I'd also love to give a huge shout out to Ninja Cookie, the person who initially discovered this trick. Without their efforts, a lot of stuff in this game wouldn't be possible. They've been putting in a ton of work doing a bunch of glitch finding and routing, and they've really blown up this game. They have been a pretty awesome community member and have found a lot of the glitches that we use currently. Link to their YouTube and Twitch will be in the description. I highly encourage you follow them. They are not only a good glitch finder, but also a really good runner. Otherwise, take care, have a nice day, thank you for watching.